Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday morning, January 20th. A cold rain continues to fall at this hour in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. Arctic air is filtering into the region from northwest to southeast. The rain has changed over to snow in places like Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Allentown, Pennsylvania. It's kind of a race between the end of the precipitation and the colder air coming in from the north and west in terms of potential snowfall in the immediate I-95 corridor region. Entirely possible that it changes over to snow by mid-morning in the big city areas, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, perhaps with a coating to an inch or two by the time it winds down by midday. Looking ahead, there is the next storm threat. Looks like it stays to the south and east of the I-95 corridor region in the Friday night, Saturday time frame. Still a close call though, and something that has to be monitored over the next couple of days. Other threats look like they'll come into the picture by the middle of next week, maybe even to the end of next week, the following week, and certainly the period from, let's say, next Wednesday through the following Sunday looks somewhat volatile. We'll have to take one system at a time here. Here's the latest surface map. And you notice here north to northwest flow of air, most areas right now, and that is as the Arctic air is trickling in. Again, there's snow now being reported in this area right here, across to this area right here, Lancaster, Allentown. This is roughly the range snow line as we speak, still to the north and west of D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City. You certainly can see a change over to snow over the next couple of hours in the immediate I-95 corridor region. Maybe a coating to an inch or two with the delay in the changeover compared to what it looked like yesterday. That kind of backs down on the estimated accumulation amounts again, and maybe a coating to an inch or two from mid-morning to midday. Afternoon should remain mostly cloudy, and the big story really will be the Arctic air that comes into effect here, and by late tonight we're looking at overnight lows in the 10 to 15 degree range in the I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City. Here's a look at the latest radar loop from WSI's and telecast.com, and of course snow is shown here in blue. Changed over already in Lancaster, not quite into Chester County as depicted here, but close by. Allentown, Lancaster now seeing some snow, at least at the ground level, and far northern western suburbs of D.C. seeing some flakes mixing in. Again, it's kind of a race between colder air coming in from the north and west and drier air coming in. Can certainly be change over to snow in the immediate I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City by mid-morning over the next couple of hours, then winding down by midday. Well, let's take a look at last night's operational run of the GFS, a 6Z run. First of all, we're looking at 850 millibar temperature anomalies, and again, a bigger story than the snow this morning, or lack of snow this morning in some parts of the I-95 corridor region, will be the Arctic air, and again, that does come, and it looks like it'll drop temperatures way down into the 10 to 15 degree range by late tonight, early Friday morning, even in the big cities of D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City. By the way, watch out for slick roads midday this afternoon, even after the snow, if it does indeed change to snow, even after the precipitation ends, because temperatures will slowly fall. Once they get down to near the freezing mark, you certainly can have some slick roads later morning, midday, and afternoon hours. Let's move forward here, and that Arctic air does arrive in full throttle in the overnight hours, and Friday will be a very cold day relative to normal, well below normal for this time of the year. Highs doing no better than the 20s. It stays cold right into the upcoming weekend, and then we go forward. This is the Sunday forecast map. You see another shot of Arctic air headed into the northeastern states by the early part of next week, and really the cold air outbreaks just tend to replenish themselves over the next week or so, right through the end of the month of January. Here is a week from now, next Thursday, January 27th, and yet more cold air moving into the eastern states. So generally a cold pattern for sure for the next week or so. Now let's take a look at the 500 millibar vorticity field as depicted by last night's operational run of the GFS at 6Z. First of all, there is a little bit of a wave of energy here, a short wave that is enhancing the upward motion right now in the I-95 corridor region. It may not be snowing, but it is actually raining pretty hard in some spots, all as a result of this energy in the upper part of the atmosphere. There's a strong jet streak as well, all producing some upward motion. The colder air seeping in, and there is a changeover now occurring places like south central Pennsylvania, east central Pennsylvania, and that should spread. The snow should change over to snow over the next couple of hours from northwest to southeast. Now, let's move forward here, and as we go into the end of the work week, notice here by tomorrow morning the orientation of this vorticity max. It's what we call a very positive tilted vorticity orientation, with the upper level axis oriented from northeast to southwest, and that is not conducive to a storm riding up along the east coast, and that's the problem, if you call that a problem, with the potential threat Friday night, Saturday. Will not have that ability to ride up the east coast, so primarily affecting the Carolinas, maybe southeastern Virginia and the Delmarva Peninsula. It does not become negatively tilted until it is far enough off the coast to prevent it, the way it looks right now, from a big impact or even any impact in areas along the I-95 corridor and to the north and west of there. But close enough call that we still have to monitor that over the next couple of days. Then as we move later in the weekend and into the early part of next week, this is the Sunday morning forecast map, or Sunday midday forecast map. This is an area we'll watch here, right in this region right here. As of Sunday, an upper level low over the southwestern states. That will push to the north and east by the middle of next week. Here it is by Tuesday of next week. This will be something to follow, let's say by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, and then yet another system out here over the southwestern states. Probably something to follow for next week in the 28th, 29th, 30th time frame. So still an active pattern and still yielding some cold air outbreaks into the eastern states over the next week to 10 days or so. Well, let's look at the forecast maps, the surface forecast maps from the 6E GFS model run. Change over to snow on the backside of this Arctic frontal system. Again, the Arctic air is not blasting into the I-95 corridor region, just seeping in, filtering in, and hence a delay in the changeover from rain to snow. And it'll be a close call between the dry air and the cold air in terms of how much snow can fall. But do see change over to snow over the next couple of hours, and as we move forward here, all winds down by midday, early afternoon in the mid-Atlantic region as that Arctic front slides off to the south and east. Then we look to that next storm possibility, still close enough call that it's something that has to be monitored. This is by Saturday morning. It certainly can have an impact on the region, southeastern Virginia across to the southern half of the Delmarva Peninsula, coastal southern New Jersey, and certainly an impact in the Carolinas Friday night, Saturday time frame. Something to continue to monitor over the next couple of days. Another wave will try to push up to the north along the coast later this weekend. Looks like it stays off the coast. And then we have that system in the southwestern states to monitor. And here we are by Monday night, Tuesday night time frame. This is something to monitor. Again, we're talking Tuesday, Wednesday time frame of next week, and then there could be yet another system, that second wave of energy, to monitor for the weekend of the 28th, 29th, 30th. This is the 28th. GFS is showing it going way off to the south and east. Other models have it certainly farther to the north and west. So certainly two time periods to monitor for next week, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the following weekend. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.